Then we consider an important incident that happened internationally during this week. That was the bursting of dam in Libya and consequent flooding and killing of almost all, maybe a lakh of people or more than that, because the whole city got washed away with huge flooding. How did it happen? There are two reasons. One is the climate change. Climate change is there and there's no way we can escape from that. All that we have to do is to mitigate that. And it does not spare any country in particular. I mean, the developed countries as well as the less developed countries, both are equally vulnerable. But only thing is, when preparing for it or taking action after the incident, naturally the countries with better infrastructure, better wealth, have a much better response to the natural disasters compared to countries which are less endowed. But more importantly, this climate change, the emission of the unhealthy gases like the carbon dioxide and others, how do we prevent it? The Western world wants to impose it in such a way that it does not in any way interfere with their standards of living, and the price for that has to be borne by the less developed countries. This is ridiculous. Any day, if you want to contain climate change and reduce the emissions, that can only happen with a lifestyle which is more contented, less materialistic. Unless that attitude is there across the globe, these other remedies like sequencing of CO2 or better technology can only have a marginal impact but not a major impact. Otherwise, the world is doomed to suffer like this. With reference to Libya, the issue has become a double problem for them. One is the climate change, because of which that, like it is happening anywhere in the world, that Daniel storm, cyclone, after drenching Greece and other countries, came to Libya. Here they were ill prepared for it. The dam burst, and because of the dam burst, people have died. And why did it happen? Because of lack of maintenance. And for that, because there is no governance as far as Libya is concerned. And for that also, again, the NATO and the Western world is responsible. To get a proper view of this, we have to go a little back in history. In the 60s, the whole Arab world, there is one charismatic leader, Gamal Nazar from Egypt. He was not a theocratic leader. He was a secular socialist leader. And he impressed, and a lot of people were impressed by his ideology. And some of them developed themselves. One is Saddam Hussein in Iraq and Gadaffi in Libya. One thing, none of them is democratic. Neither Nazar was democratic, nor Saddam Hussein, nor Gadaffi. And there looks to be some fundamental problem with Islam and democracy. Wherever Islam is prevalent, democracy is not taking roots and sustaining. So that's a much, much bigger issue. But one thing is certain, out of the leaders, Gadaffi was definitely a better leader. He had the good of the people at his heart. The country has done well. The economy has improved well. And he has his own philosophy, which he expounds in his book, Green Book, where he tried to bring about a synthesis between Islam and socialism, communism. And when things were going well, he wanted a West African Union, a much bigger union of the Western countries, where France has some interest, Italy has some interest, England has some interest. Of course, America has interest everywhere. They were rattled. So the best thing is you start up a coup within the country, then make him the target, take the sanction of the UN. At that time, Russia and China have their own problems, so they just abstained. They didn't vote against it. Then NATO takes the lead and then bombs him and kills him. And then what happened? One thing is, these Western countries and NATO are good at disrupting the systems, but can never substitute a good system for that. either it is Iraq or Gadaffi, the existing fellow has been bumped off. Then you leave the country and leave it in a chaos. Now today in Libya, there are two factions, militias which are fighting, and one controls the east and the other controls the west. And nobody was looking at improving the infrastructure or taking care of the existing infrastructure. That's exactly why the dam has burst, resulting in the death of so many people. So this way, I think the Western world is really playing a very bad role in a unipolar world after USSR got disintegrated. Luckily now, the world is turning out to be a multipolar world, with India has some stake, Russia, China and others. And that's what they are now afraid of. That's why issues like this Khalistani movement support and all those things are coming. Let's hope Libya would have a better leader, whether democratically elected or otherwise, who can take care of the country and save the people in the much longer term. Thank you.